Peace be with you. Welcome to Living Flame Podcast website and Facebook group. Dear friends, we upload everyday gospel reflections and also articles, homilies, meditations on this website. This website and podcast is operated by the Riskalst Carmelites of Karnataka Goa province. Dear friends, we are in the Holy Week. Gospel reflections for Tuesday of the Holy Week. Gospel taken from John chapter 13 verses 21 to 33 and 36. Dear friends, in this gospel passage we find Jesus is aware that his hour had come closer. Just before the Passover festival, Jesus invites all his disciples to the upper room for this great Last Supper. We know the meaning of the Passover. In the book of Exodus, how the Passover was to be celebrated, very clear indications were given by Moses that the family had to gather together, they had to roast a lamb, eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs, and they had to eat it in a haste. Reminder that God was redeeming them from their slavery. Now here, when Jesus was celebrating the Passover, he knew that he had to pass over to the Father. His hour had come. And he is greatly troubled. And he says, "One of you will betray me." Imagining the trouble and perhaps the deep sorrow Jesus had in his heart. One of you will betray me. There were 12 disciples. When Jesus says, "One of you will betray me," he does not mention any name. And then Peter motions to John, who was reclining close to Jesus, to ask him who it is. And Jesus says, "To the one whom I am giving this bread, piece of bread." And he gives it to Judas. Well, when Jesus said, "One of you will betray me," that means he did not take the name. That means it applies to all of us. Dear friends, whenever we try to go away from our commitment, we are in some way betraying Jesus. Now, in our daily life, we have that commitment of baptism. We have the commitment of being a Christian, a friend of Jesus, follower of Jesus, disciple of Jesus. If our attitude is of Judas, we are going to betray Jesus. And that's why this applies to all of us. Whenever we go away from our commitment, from the friendship of Jesus. Then when Jesus gave that piece of bread, it is said in this gospel passage that Satan entered into the mind or heart of Judas, and he goes away, and it was dark. And then there is another discourse here. Jesus says, "Little children, I will be only a little longer with you, then I will go away. And you cannot come where I am going." And Peter said, "We will follow you all the time." And finally Jesus says, "Peter, you say that you follow me anywhere I go, but you will be denying me." So these two disciples, Peter and Judas, in some way represent our attitudes towards Jesus. Sometimes we deny Jesus, sometimes we betray Jesus. But then, like the other disciples too, when Jesus was arrested, all other disciples ran away, except John, who was following Jesus very close till the end. In our daily lives, dear friends, as we are meditating on this gospel passage, let us try our best especially during this week, to be very close to Jesus, and let this closeness with Jesus may prolong not only during Easter time but throughout the year, that we become truly faithful followers, disciples, and friends of Jesus. God bless you.